Such classics, you know what? 24 minutes after 6 o'clock. It's a great evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And yeah, man, this is Joe Mafele. It's a song titled Shebeleza. This one was released in the year 1995 on the 12th of January, man, and under Gallo Record Company. This one is by the late Ndade Joe Mafele. It's a song titled Shebeleza. And this one was also, helped by Joe, but Strike Villagas was some of the people that actually played a huge role in this one. It's 25 minutes after the hour, 6 o'clock. We are on Heritage Month, and I'd like to say we're on Heritage Week today with, obviously, Heritage Day coming through just 2 days ago, on Thursday to be precise. So we just want to skip the next day, and then after that, we're definitely on Heritage Day. But we're not about that. Today is also World Rhino Day, and just a few weeks ago, Dana Wannenburg, who's the MMC in Tshwane, to speak to us about these days. But of course, you would actually be, interested to know that today, or rather every day on every year on the 22nd of September, we celebrate or rather observe World Rhino Day, which is an international ecological observance that is celebrated annually. It was inaugurated in 2010 to raise awareness of the need to protect the 5 existing species of rhinoceros, and we want to jump into that with Mr. Dana here. Dana, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us, my great friend.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for inviting me again to your station.
Yeah, it's Heritage Month. Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. It's almost Dry Day. They say in South Africa, I think one of our staple foods is Mokete pap, and then also dry. I think we all grew up with dry, so they also say Heritage Month is also that National Dry Days. And then I see we all have to join in with this Jerusalem song that we must do on Heritage Day. So yes, I think times has changed a lot, but we must still be positive and keep ourselves happy. And I think that Jerusalem song, definitely all over the world, you can see how it picked up, and something that came from us as South Africans, and that liveliness between our hearts, and it made a lot of people positive all over the world. So I think that is an accomplishment that definitely came out of this COVID-19 that is helping a lot of people in the world.
Interesting. You're quite correct. 27 minutes have gone since the hour 6 o'clock. Mr. Dana Wannenburg with us on the line. Dana, let's speak about, but before I want us to jump into obviously World Rhino Day, can you just briefly touch on the cleanup day? What is the importance of such a day, and what should people be doing on that specific day?
Look, there's a lot of environmental days and these types of things that I think every one of us must be part of. And we are so busy that we forget about these types of things. And like you said, on the 19th of September was cleanup day also. And there was a lot of action all over the world. If we wanted to see how many people can just pick up one thing, and littering is so big. I mean, when we drive, I remember a long time ago when we had in the radio station also, we talked about littering. And littering was something that we got so used to that we see all these papers and waste lying on the street, but it got a huge influence on our environment. So what we've tried on the 19th was also to do recycling. We've done it in a few places in Tshwane, and it was very successful. And also on e-waste. A lot of us, we don't know what to do with our old computers and TVs and microwaves, and where do you take something like that? So I was also, when we've done one in Pretoria North on Saturday, and you couldn't believe how many people brought in a lot of stuff. I thought it's going to be a small thing, but well, when you advertise it that we're going to do this recycling and cleanup program, it worked. Then also in Centurion, the Hennops River, those areas, there's weekly cleanup campaigns running in those rivers. And the water is a very, very important source of our life. And if we pollute rivers, dams, those types of things, our wetlands can't handle it anymore. So that's why it's important that everyone gets involved every day in our lives, that we clean up, that we keep our areas and our streets and our parks clean, because if we've got only one of those things, and if we go into a negative state with our environment, we'll end up maybe in more droughts, climate change, we'll end up more with deserts and stuff like that. So it's important that we all be part of these types of things and clean up wherever we go.
Interesting. 30 minutes.
When I've seen it out this morning that people must acknowledge World Rhino Day, it's like all these other important days, and we must start looking after our habitats and environment, and especially our wildlife. If you look at rhinos, how vulnerable they are, and what happened on the end with the dehorning of these animals, I mean, talking wherever. I mean, you see now an animal where the shape has changed. And I think Rhino Day is something that is in World Rhino Day all over the world, is there to let people think about what we do, how we can protect these types of animals that's very vulnerable. There's about five species of rhino in the world, and about 3 species we find in Africa, and the ones that we find in South Africa is mostly a white and a black rhino. So it's important that we look after these types of animals also. You can't believe after today, by sending out that message that it's World Rhino Day, I already got calls from people who wants to assist in protecting these rhinos and asking the questions, where can they go to become part of these honorable rangers to come and start protecting these animals. So it showed that one message that I've sent out today, just for people to remember that it's World Rhino Day and how important it is, and how to look after the wildlife in South Africa and all over the world. Or something in other people's minds that people will come together to protect these types of animals. So it showed that there is still people out there that feels it's very important. So yeah, today is World Rhino Day all over the world. It's specific this day just to then it's gone. So what we must do is to protect them also again, and that's why the importance of Rhino Day is so important to the 22nd of September.
Dana, to what extent should we be, conscientizing our communities around the significance of, of rhino poaching, because people wanted the rhino horns, and that, in a way, sort of, created a problem because of now what it was doing was, I remember there was a point where it was said that increase in rhino poaching. If not, what more needs to be done?
I think by me and by you telling your listeners tonight, I mean, if we do a test on how many people really knew this World Rhino Day, and we live in Africa, we live in South Africa, and we've got rhinos here, then I don't think there's even 1% that knows about it. So I think by doing what you are doing tonight, asking you to talk over the radio about this important day in the world about rhinos, helps also to let people rethink about these types of things, because at least tonight people will go to bed and talking to other people and saying, but it's World Rhino Day today. So I think what I started to do in these last few years was to start dates and clean up dates and campaigns all over the world. And I think you are one of the people who receives my stuff a lot. So it's important that those small steps we take to get to something bigger to help the rhinos, for instance, today, is that important thing. Because the children all over in South Africa can't go to these parks anymore to view wildlife. So that's why I think, like for instance, like in Rickley in Tshwane, we are quite privileged to have a 4,000 hectare nature reserve in Tshwane that's there for educational purposes. The children can still go in our communities to experience these rhinos close to home also. And those are the important things. The more we talk about something, the more we can protect it also in the end and help. The more we talk about cleanups, the more we talk about cleaning up and not littering all over and looking after our environment, planting more trees for shade and those types of things, it's very, very important. We've got National or World Rivers Day coming up. I think it's on the 27th of September now. It's in a week. If you just think of the importance of a day like that, all our communities live so close to a river, and it's important that we look after our water resources and our rivers. So I'm urging communities also out there, I'll send you that info that you can put it over your radio also, that people get river, because that is the life source of Africa and the world. But that's how I come back to rhinos. So by doing these types of things and getting involved shows the importance, and a lot of hands together can make a difference on the end.
Interesting. Dana, thank you so much, and I wish you a great evening, my brother.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. Have a good evening, and your listeners too.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And happy Heritage Day. I want to see that Jerusalem dance video of yours. 36 minutes after 6 o'clock. That is Mr. Dana Wannenburg. He is the MMC at the city of Tshwane, speaking to us about the importance of conserving nature. Tony.
Yes, sir.
How are you, my great sir?
I'm great, thanks. And how are you, Mr.
Yeah, we're good. Are you ready for the Jerusalem dance? Do you know how to dance, man?
I try.
Isn't it rust? I mean, dancing. Yeah?
I try.
You try.
I'm a black person, so we all have, that element of.
Okay, it's embedded in your culture.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, but great week.
Yeah, I had a great week.
Weekend.
Weekend was also a bit chilled. Yeah, just this week faced with a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
Dealing with contracts, dealing with sellers.
Yeah.
Being the middleman as a real estate agent can be tough.
Hectic. 37 minutes after 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us. If you just jumped in, this is the Capital Talk right here on Tshwane FM 93.6. And we're doing this thing every Monday till Thursday. And today is a throwback Tuesday. We will ping you, music back to back, way back. And just earlier on, we're speaking to Mr. Dana Wannenburg. And now we're moving to property with Tony here. But a big shout out to my colleagues who have been holding it down for you, setting up your breakfast on the morning fix with Kamu there. And just going all the way to, down, just all the way down. And, with, I know that, there was a branch block with Katloramba, and we had that COVID hour between 11 and 12 p.m. But of course, we also went through, with the Level Up Mondays with Lloyd, and continuing it all the way to Cape City Drive with Tumelo Mohapi. But here we are, between the hour 6 and 8 p.m. It is indeed the Capital Talk with myself, your news pioneer, Mokete Radebe. And we do it just this way. Tony, I know that today we're speaking about the mistakes that people make when purchasing residential property.
Yes.
Let's jump into that.
So I noticed that a lot of people make common mistakes, which can be costly at the same time, So the first most important one that I will mention is that it's always wise to make use of a real estate agent. Yeah. So let me first start there.
Yeah.
Not that because I'm a real estate agent, but then I've noticed that, as a buyer, it's always crucial to make use of a real estate agent because there's a lot of things that they will tell you about the property.
Yeah.
For instance, anything that's wrong with the property. Because sometimes you as the buyer, you need to inspect the property.
Correct.
Also, the agent has to know what's up with the property. Because when they list the property, they need to know what works, what doesn't work. And all information that they know to the capacity has to be disclosed to the buyer. So now you being the buyer without the agent, then you get there, you look at the property and there's some things that weren't disclosed. it can be a problem when now you move in and you see that there's actually problems that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, interesting. 39 minutes after the hour, 6 o'clock, still on the Capital Talk, right on Tshwane FM 93.6. And of course, just checking some of your comments. Thank you so much for keeping them up. I see there's Pretty Matsebula. I'm catching you live from the Spirit, the capital city of the rising sun. Thank you so much, Sepri, for joining us, Baba. Sinawe. Zamaswazi Nkosi is with us as well, sending all the fire. I know that he's saying hi, man. Nyashisa, but thank you so much for joining us, Zamaswazi, as well. It's a great evening. As we continue, Tony, just get on with it. And how do we also just get to curb those, those mistakes, rather?
Yes. So the second one that I'll mention is that make sure that you buy a property at market value or either below market value. A good example that I can make is that last week I had a situation whereby there's a buyer, actually a seller or an owner who bought this property for their child, but then they bought this property from a friend. So obviously the friend had their idea of the price, and they bought the property which was overpriced. Now 3 years later, they're trying to sell the property only to realize that the property, the price that they bought it for is actually the current price at this stage. So you need to make sure that you either buy it low or at market value. It's very important.
So Rupi.
Tell not.
How do I know if I'm being cheated? How do I access these things?
So now coming back to the real estate agents. So most of the points I'm going to mention, they all divert to the real estate agents, because now when you work with the real estate agents, I believe there's certain questions that should be asked. And I would honestly say a real estate agent, there's certain information that the buyer shouldn't ask but should give out. For instance, I would advise that buyers should always ask for a comparable market analysis so that they know that in this area, how much a property is normally bought for. Is this property above market value? Is it below market value? With that now, it can make you realize if you're buying this property above or low. For instance, if you buy for investment purposes, the aim or the best thing that would be great for you is to buy it below market value. So it's very important to either buy it at market value or below, because if it's above, having to sell the property, then it will be a challenge, firstly. Secondly, your bond repayment can be higher as well. Thirdly, it can happen that the bank values the property way lesser than the offer that you presented.
I hear you.
Yeah, so that's another fact.
I hear you. 42 minutes after 6 o'clock, that's exactly where we are in Capital Talk. We're going to take one song. And when we come back, we look at, more on property. This one is Utokai by Malaika. Pariki 6 Mabon.
Your station.
one. If I want to guy.
Tshwane FM 93.6 Cap City's #1 radio station. Oh, Toddy, what shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? Oh, Tony, what shall we do? What shall we do? Yeah, Tony, what shall we do? What shall we do? Gina wants to say, Kurera no fumo mawoko. Gina wants to say, Kurera no fumo mawoko. Ajababa tabamore pasina rabo. Ajabatunduka bamore pasina rabo. Yeah, what shall we do? What shall we do? Oh, what shall we do? What shall we do? Yeah, what shall we do? 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 Oh, Tony. What shall we do? What shall we do? Victoria, Tshwane FM 93.6. The future is now. Your music, your station. This is your boy DJ Bugs. 93.6. Tshwane FM 93.6. Your station, your music. Wrap your ears around Tshwane FM 93.6. Your station, your music. Tshwane FM.
Hey, Matwana man. Nah, what if? What if we get still run the president of Matwana? Mozart Africa. You know, I'm telling you, Matwana. Put on Facebook and book and ask the question. Manala when you never mixed it, there is a cancer. And why is Matwana that you just snacks? President that they come up again, never not to like the robot that over there again. I read that Emma them from Kunne. Hey, yellow, I need to take a check on what the Marwa, Emma, the one of the Ryan,
Capital Breakfast
on Tshwane FM.
Monday to Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. #Rise to the morning.